heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? So I got an opportunity to check out Deontay Wilder versus Chris Arreola, the final press conference. Now tomorrow will be the weigh-in, so we'll get to see these guys to see what kind of shape they're going to come in at. I'm curious to see what Chris Arreola is going to do. Is he going to come into this fight under 240? He looks to be in pretty good damn shape. He looked to be in good shape, but he had a shirt on, so I really haven't seen his physique. He hasn't stepped on the scale yet, but just by the looks of things, man, he looks to be in pretty good shape. I was looking at this press conference face-off between him and Wilder, and pretty intense, man. Both guys look like they're ready to go. Wilder kind of had that look of, I'm the champion. He wants to take out, frustrations. And he said this too, that he wants to take out his frustration on Arreola. Now, Chris, the look he had, from what I get from it, I think he knows this is his last chance, man. I really do. Now he's went on to say that he doesn't deserve this fight. Well, he said that after the Fred Cassie fight in the ring. He said that because for those of you that don't know, Artur Spilka, the night that Wilder fought him, that was supposed to be my man Chris Arreola, but Arreola had the fight with Cassie. It was a draw, and even he said, Arreola himself said he didn't deserve the fight. Now, deserving a fight, and then the fight night's in a few days, whether he deserved it or not. So I believe that he's taking this fight as this his last opportunity at the big time, man. And I do think this is his last opportunity at a title shot. So I believe he's going to go for broke at some point in the fight, whether it's the 5th round or whether it's the 1st round. I do believe that Arreola is going to go for broke. Now, I've been watching him train, hit the mitts. Looks like they're working on jabbing their way inside, and then they're going to try to unleash some body shots and try to set up his right hand upstairs. From what I've heard from Deontay Wilder and watching his fights against Duhaupas and the Severn fight, I really believe that Deontay Wilder is going to develop more into a fighter that is going to fight countering you or being a back foot fighter. I've heard some guys, even whose knowledge I respect, say that they don't see him as a good back foot fighter, and I think he's pretty decent. It's not going to look as fluid and as graceful as some of, the all-time greats, but, when you're 6'7", like I always say, man, I'm 6'5". So when you're 6'7", when you're around, when you're tall like that, things aren't going to look graceful and beautiful, man. They're just not. You're going to look kind of awkward. You're going to look kind of gangly, and it's not going to look like a damn junior welterweight. It's not going to be that graceful. But for him to be with his height, he doesn't look that bad to me. His footwork looks a little clunky at times. Wilder looks a little, but again, for his height, it doesn't look that bad, and he evades punches. What I don't like from Wilder is when he backs into the ropes sometimes, he'll be getting away, and it's almost as if he doesn't know how close he is to the ropes, and then he'll just stand straight up and put his guards up sometimes. I don't believe he wants to do that, because then you're giving your opponent, especially a shorter guy, the opportunity to chop you down, especially when you're just standing straight up and leaning back on the ropes like that. But his back foot game is pretty decent to me, man. I like his jab. I like how he can fight with his hands down a little bit and show you different looks. He's got very confident with fighting with his hands down. So he's not this come forward trying to knock you out type of guy. Another thing that I notice is fans, I forgot what video I saw this on, man. It could have been Boxing Voice, or maybe it was Dante Boxing Nation. It was one of the two, man. Shouts out to both of their channels, but it was one of those channels where they were saying that they were going to ask him a question, and they were telling him that, because you're a small heavyweight. And then I was looking at the comments in the comments section, and people responded to that saying that he's a small heavyweight. He's 6'7", 230 pounds. I believe when people say small, obviously they're not talking about height. 6'7" is not small unless you're, trying to be a center or a power forward in the NBA. Rather than that's pretty damn tall. Now, his last few fights, he's been coming in at 228 to, 229. I think for a Povetkin fight, they were saying that they want to add 10 more pounds. Obviously, that fight never went down. So I'm curious to see, is he going to be close to 240 this fight? I always thought that Deontay should weigh about 245, 250. Now, some of you may think, oh, it's going to slow him down. It's going, okay, fair enough. But I don't believe he needs to be dancing and gliding all across the ring. Not when you have that reach, that type of jab that he throws. And he has a good jab when he's really popping it out there and he's circling, or when you have that equalizer in his right hand. I don't think you need to really be moving as much. I think he's the type of athlete that can make you miss by just slipping your punches, standing right there. Kind of like the way Vitaly was doing in his career, where Vitaly was kind of leaning back, just leaning back, getting out the way, and really his legs were not going nowhere sometimes. Sometimes he would move and get out the way with his feet, but he can get out the way with his upper body and just slipping from side to side, shifting weight on his right and left foot and just getting out the way and then coming back with counter shots. So when they say that Deontay Wilder is small, I think they're looking at more just the weight, because usually when you think of 6'7", automatically you're thinking 250. 245 at the least, or maybe even more, 260. But Wilder, 228, and even before that, when he was coming in at the 218 and 219, I thought that was very small as far as his weight. But he has knockout power, man. It's kind of interesting watching a guy so tall, man, not weigh as much as you would think he should weigh as a heavyweight boxer. Usually, like I said, when you got guys out there that are, if guys are up to about 6'6", 6'7", all those guys are 240 and up, 245 and up. So I think the extra weight is going to be needed, because sooner or later Wilder's going to fight somebody, man, and he already has, a couple guys, Duhaupas and Stavern, who can take his power all the way up late into fights. No matter what he's hitting them with. So eventually you're going to get in there with somebody that's not only able to do that, but is going to be able to get very physical, push you back a little bit, get in your chest, and make it just grapple a little bit here and there. Make it physical as far as grabbing with the arms and pushing them back and leaning their weight on you. And if you're only 228, pounds, and the other guy is skilled at fighting like that, and he's close to your weight, but maybe a little bit shorter, so he's a little bit more compact, and he can get under your chin and, get his head in your chest and really push you back. That's why I wanted to see the Povetkin fight, because I wanted to see how Wilder would have dealt with that, And Povetkin is one of the better inside fighters in the game, in my opinion, at heavyweight. Just my opinion. You can watch that Carlos Takam fight. They had a great inside duel. So I would like to see him add the weight. It may slow him down a little bit, but like I said, I don't think Deontay really needs to be moving around that much, man. Obviously, you want to get out the way of punches and move your head, but I don't really think he should be moving around like that. So I don't think he needs to be as light as he can get. I think, the 240 would be good for him. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I'm curious to see this weigh-in tomorrow to see if he's going to be close to 240, or is he going to be, what he's been for the last few fights, 228, 229. 240, 245 would be good for me, man. I think that's a good weight, and I still think he can get things done weighing that weight. A prime example is Vitaly Klitschko. He moved pretty decent for a guy that size. Again, it didn't look as graceful as, Muhammad Ali, but he was very effective with his movements, being such a big guy. Like another thing, like if, Ortiz were to get inside on Wilder, would he be able to push him back? I think Wilder coming in at 225, 228, around those weights, yes, I do think he will be able to. Now, those guys have to find their way inside on Wilder too, and he has that right hand waiting for you in that jab. So he's not going to make it easy for you, but eventually somebody's going to get there. And I'm curious to see how that fight's going to play out on the inside. Duhaupas and Wilder fought at close range a little bit, but Duhaupas really not an inside fighter like that. He will, he's not the type that's going to put his weight on you and try to push you back At least that's not what I've seen from him. So Arreola has the chance to try to fight that type of fight. Like I said, when I watched him train, he's been throwing some jabs and body work. Looked like he's going to try to work his way on the inside. But I guess we'll see here in a few days. Maybe Wilder doesn't allow him to get anywhere near for an inside fight. Maybe keeps him at bay with that jab and that right hand. It's going to be a damn interesting fight, man. Just my last little pre-fight thoughts here. I'll probably do another video tomorrow after I see the weigh-in, but going to be an interesting fight, man, no matter what happens in this fight. But I still got Wilder, but I think it's going to be interesting. Arreola looks like he's in pretty good shape for his standards. His belly wasn't poking out his shirt or anything, but I guess we'll see tomorrow, man. That'll let us know where Arreola's at as far as his weight. But he looks pretty decent from what I've seen. I'm out.